Hi, and welcome to another episode of Then We Eat. On today's episode, we'll be making my version of a Crunch Wrap Supreme. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by making our cheese sauce. As you can hear, I do have the induction cooker on. It does get noisy. I have it heating up, and now let's start our cheese sauce. To our pot, we're going to add 1/4 cup of butter, and we're going to let that melt. Now that our butter is melted, we're going to add 1/4 cup of flour. I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top. And we're going to whisk that in. And I'm just going to cook this for a minute or two just to cook the flour in. You actually want to whisk this for about 5 minutes until it thickens up. Make sure that you keep whisking it or it will go into one huge clump of flour. You want to cook it to get the floury taste out of this so that it's more a creamier taste. Okay, so our sauce is cooked for about 5 minutes. You can see it's thicker, but it's still pourable. Now we're going to add 2 cups of milk. Make sure you continue to whisk when you're adding the milk or it will go into a lump. And whisk to get all the lumps out. You want to cook your sauce for about 5 minutes. What you're trying to do is thicken it up so it's nice and thick, but it still is pourable. Okay, so our sauce is thickening. Now's the time we're going to add 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. And it's going to sprinkle it in to start, and then we'll mix it all in. Get the cheese all mixed in. You want to make sure that the cheese is totally mixed in. You don't want any lumps. And the last thing we're going to do is add some heat. And to this we've added 2 tablespoons of hot sauce and 1 teaspoon of Then We Eat devil powder. So our cheese sauce is done. I'm going to take it and put it on the burner on the stove for now. And I'm going to carry on with making the rest of the Crunch Wrap Supremes. Okay, so our cheese sauce is made. Now it's time to move on to the rest of the Crunch Wrap Supreme. We're going to start by cooking our ground beef. I have 1 cup of regular ground beef. I've got a little bit of fat in on the end. If you like lean ground beef, you can use lean. We like the regular. So into the frying pan it goes. I'm going to add the spice to the meat as well while it's cooking at this stage. It just gives the meat a nicer flavor. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, and some salt and pepper. In it goes. Okay, so it looks like our meat is cooked. I'm just going to turn the burner off, put my meat into a bowl, wash my pan, and we're going to get ready to start assembling the Crunch Wrap. The one thing I forgot to mention when I was cooking my ground beef is if you've got a lot of liquid in the bottom, you can drain it. Even though I was using regular ground beef, I didn't have a lot of liquid in the bottom, so I just left it. One of the things you're going to need for your Crunch Wrap Supremes are Tostada Shells. It's just a flour tortilla shell. I got mine at Costco. I was lucky enough to find them. So what I did is I deep fried mine so they're nice and crispy. If you don't have the Tostada Shells, you can always use a taco shell. Just take your taco shell, break it in half, and gently break the curve out of it, and you should have a nice round, hard, crispy shell for this. You are going to need 4 large flour tortillas. Then what you do is you take another 4 large tortillas and you're going to cut them in the shape of your small tostada shells. That's what I've done here. So I've got my big flour tortilla and I've got one that I've cut. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a heap of the ground beef in the middle of our flour tortilla. We're going to make sure that it doesn't go out to the side because we will need to fold this around the tostada and the other shell. Okay, and then we're going to drizzle some cheese sauce over it. Next, we're going to place our tostada shell on top of that, our nice crispy fried tostada shell. Then we're going to put a dollop of sour cream, a little bit of lettuce, and some tomato on top of that, and a sprinkling of some Monterrey Jack and some cheddar cheese over the top of that. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put the small flour tortilla shell that you cut on top of that. And then we're going to fold up the sides. And it's ready to be fried. We've got the first one done. Let's fry it up and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, so once my pan is heated up, I'm going to put my Crunch Wrap Supreme in the bottom with the folded side down. And I'm going to cook on either side for 3 minutes until it's golden brown. And while we're waiting for this to heat up, don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below Did you like the video? Better yet, what else would you like to see us make? Okay, so it's been 3 minutes. Let's flip it over and see what the other side looks like. And the heat has melted our pocket, so it's not going to come undone. Okay, so I think our crunch wrap has cooked enough. It's looking nice and toasty brown. I think we're going to call this done. Let's cut into it and see what it looks like. Oh, it's nice and crispy. Okay, so let's try it. Oh, it's ooey gooey, but it smells fantastic. That is good. The cheesiness from the cheese sauce and the spiciness from the ground beef, excellent. And the then we eat devil powder gives it a nice kick along with the hot sauce. Very, very good. So that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, first we cook, then we eat.